Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope everyone's doing fantastic on this gorgeous Tuesday. It's sunny, it's in the 40s, it's warming up, it's starting to feel like, okay, spring is going to be coming. I know a lot of you have been asking about my brother. So as some of you may or may not know, I talked about it in membership. He had a knee replacement surgery last June. And did he listen to his psychic sister? No, he did not. He went to these horrible doctors and they botched it. So now the whole entire thing has to come out. They literally put it in wrong. So in 2 weeks, he's going for revision surgery, which is going to be a lot more invasive. They have to go deeper into the bone and he may have to stay at a rehab for a few days. So of course he's a bit nervous. So whatever good energy you want to send, it's his right knee. He was supposed to get his left knee done right afterwards, but that didn't happen. When you look at his knee, you can actually see that it's all the way over to the side. The whole thing is just junk. It just moved. They didn't put it in right. So yes, please send him, good vibes, please. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I come on. Check out membership. We just did the Starseed seminar, which was absolutely fantastic. A lot of people showed up, had some great questions. I went over the different types of starseeds. And on my webpage, DianneAquarius.com, I put out, and you can click it. It's right in the community tab. You can click it. At the bottom of my website, you'll see that there's a new video that you can take the Starseed quiz that I did in the seminar. So and I also put out a new blog on my website. So I've been trying to give more free offerings, through my website for everybody. So, new videos, new blogs and things like that. I did like a little astrology 101, a basic bit about astrology on my blog this week. So that way you can learn a little bit more about who you are and to understand just the very basics of astrology, because most of us aren't astrologers, right? But there's some basics that we can all learn. I wanted to show you, before we get into it, this gorgeous set of tarot cards that I got. And it's called Curious Cats Tarot by MJ Cullinane. And you have to see how beautiful these are. It's pretty, rare that you see cards like this well done. I mean, look at the Emperor. Look at him. I mean, gorgeous. I mean, this is more almost like my Annie in some ways. Not gray enough, though. Not gray enough. I mean, just really beautiful cards. So at the end of this, I've selected 3 cards over here that I'm going to do for the 3 card pull, okay? So let's get to it. So we're going to look at 4 things today. One is what they're calling the mystery in Iran, and that has to do with those schoolgirls getting poisoned. I really don't feel like it's much of a mystery, but we'll get into that. We need to talk about the airlines. I mean, what isn't going on with them right now? Everyone's been asking me to look at student loans. Let's do that. And then let's look at Kevin McCarthy's fate, because I really think what he just did with giving that footage to Tucker Carlson from Jan 6 is going to lead to impeachment. But you know what? Let's take a look. So diving in, the mystery in Iran, they're calling it. So these schoolgirls, hundreds and hundreds of them, have been poisoned. And so the news, when I was watching it, was being kind of vague. So I sort of just went into the energy of what this was. And so I get into it, and I first feel like my sinuses start to burn, going down my throat, into my lungs. It has a really awful smell. It's a smell that I don't like. It smells wrong. It smells chemically, like something I shouldn't be breathing in. It makes me feel cold, like it's hard to move. I feel kind of like I'm stuck, like I'm just going to pass out. I feel like I'm seeing black. So even though I know that it hasn't actually killed any of these girls, I feel like it gives you that sensation that you're going to die. Okay. And so that tells me this is very much a scare tactic. This is a scare tactic to make it so girls don't go to school. Now, when I went into the energy of who was doing this, it was interesting. I saw men, Iranian men, kind of like darkly shrouded, I don't know what they were wearing, but it just seemed dark and covering around their heads, robes. And I got that they were a group. This wasn't a solo effort. This was a group. But the thing that I saw that interested me was that the government was over here. Like, here's this group, and then here's the government. And there's very little separating them. And so I know the government's trying to make it sound like, oh, we're going to get to the bottom of this. The Iranian government, that is. No, they already know who it is. So let's pull a few cards on this. But I really feel like it's a deterrent for, you know, Iranian girls to not go to school, to not be educated. And once again, for all of my light workers, send them love and light. You know, let's send them everything that we can, because we want all girls everywhere to be educated. We want all children everywhere to be educated, right? We want everyone everywhere to be safe. School's hard enough, right? You don't need that obstacle. Interesting. So this is a slow moving card indeed. But it's a card that also tells me, Knight of Pentacles, that there is money behind this. This is being funded, okay? Which goes back to what I was seeing, that this is an organized group and it's not light years away from the government. Oh, look at the obstacle. You can't make this up, people. The only card that only has children. And who is this affecting? Children. So these poor children are right in the crossfire here. And then the next card that I get has a child too. Okay, pages are all about children. And so once again, talking about this is getting financed, but this is going to lead to something bigger. This is going to cause a cycle to end and a new one to begin. All right, I want to go a little bit deeper though. Let's go a little bit deeper, because that can go one way or the other. And I am concerned about these young ladies. So let's see here. Okay, so this does eventually have a happy ending. Yeah, I mean, this is the card of peace, love, and happiness, but it comes after somebody official steps in. So this is where maybe their government, or it could be an outside agency, steps in and does the right thing and protects these girls. Okay, so let's just send them our best. So the airlines, honestly, I'm not seeing a lot of good with them in the future over the next several months. So as you know, they've had unruly passengers, dangerous passengers. They have had near misses, little collisions. They've had terrible turbulence. I mean, like, you name it, it seems like everything just keeps happening with the airlines. And I know that there are two that's merging. Expect another merger though. Expect another merging of airlines, okay? But I'm also seeing an actual crash, which we haven't had in a long time, okay? And for whatever reason, and some of you will have to enlighten me because I don't know anything about England's aviation system, but I feel like what's going on in America spills over to England. So I don't know. I don't know if they're having issues, but I am seeing with England, the same as us, there's a shortage of workers. There needs to be more workers. End of story. And they need different rules. And I see both of us getting different rules, different regulations. When I went into that energy, I was kind of playing around this morning. It was interesting. One of the things that I could hear them saying was, maybe we should eliminate alcohol in the airports. And then I could hear someone else saying, well, have the passengers do a breathalyzer test before they get on. And then someone else saying, oh my gosh, no way. That would just jam up the lines. It would cause everything to back up, you know. So no, so they're throwing ideas around is my point. They're trying to figure out, like, okay, how do we solve some of these problems? And I think at the end of the day, I think they do need to actually ban some people from being on airplanes. And I think you need to just keep your seatbelt on. You know, I don't see the big deal. Just put it on. If it's going to save your life, now that, you know, we've had a death and we've had people get injured, just put it on, right? But let's see. Looking at the future of airlines in the US, but I am seeing like a serious crash happen. I will say that. And please, in the comments, tell me what you're thinking and feeling and anything that you've experienced. Have you experienced something with the airlines? You know, I was shocked to find out the last time we went to Mexico that I was supposed to have paid extra so Michael and I could sit together. I had no idea. I would have, but we ended up getting separated, and he, you know, he's tall, he's 6'5". He ended up all the way in the back against that back wall, and he couldn't recline. There was like no leg room there for him. And, you know, so when he got off, he was pretty miserable. He wasn't feeling so hot, you know? Okay, so what do we need to know, Spirit, about airlines in the US? They're trying to persevere, right? And also too, you know, this is a 9. And 9s are about a cycle coming to an end, a journey coming to an end. So that tells me things are about to change. My instincts are right. We're going to have new rules, new regulations. Things are changing. I do think they're going to have to hire more people. They obviously need to hire more pilots, right? I mean, the training is so costly. If more of these companies would train them and then, you know, make a contract. I know some do, some have, make a contract, right? Where they have to work for so long to pay it off because it's very costly. I think that's why we have so many people going from the military to becoming a pilot, because they've already had the training. For a lot of people, the expense is out of reach. So they're persevering. They're putting one foot in front of the other. They're trying their darndest. But here's the Queen of Cups. I call her the Queen of Emotions. This is a highly emotionally charged issue. People are upset. You know, when you see people on TV, they're ranting and they're raving because their flight got delayed and canceled and they've been bounced around and they're waiting in long lines. And I really do see a lot of lawsuits with these airlines. So a lot's going on. But they're bickering, they're fighting, they're arguing, they're not getting along. No one's seeing eye to eye. So all these folks need to get together and figure it out. Oh, interesting. And things are coming to a standstill with them. So they're going to be kind of stuck in their ways for a bit longer, which is not great news for us. We want them to progress. We want them to pull out of this energy to one where they're coming up with actual solutions. So this tells me the solution is going to be a ways out there. So, you know, let's all hang tight, I guess. And, you know, if you do go on a plane, be careful. Student loans. So the decision's not supposed to come out until the summer, right? Around June, July. So let's take a look. It seems like it just goes back and forth, back and forth. And, you know, people need this kind of debt relief, right? And I know the argument's always, well, but I paid mine off, shouldn't I get something? But we literally are missing like a generation of people, right? Like a whole generation of people aren't being born because people can't afford to have a child and pay off their loans. I mean, I have a family member like that. He and his wife are married. She's a manager. He owns his own business, but they have student loans and they can't afford to quit their jobs. You know, so how do you raise a child? And so it's actually having a huge impact on us as a collective, you know, here in the US. So let's see, what will the verdict be? What will the verdict be? Okay. So, okay, drastic change is coming. I like that. I like that so far. Knight of Wands. But the obstacle, young people getting money. Okay, so, but this is in general, people getting money, right? So Yeah, so the money coming is an obstacle. Judgment. Well, yeah, they're going to have to make a judgment, right? Whether they're going to give this sort of debt relief or not. And let's not be disillusioned that they're going to. Because one of the things that I'm hearing, and I hope I'm wrong, you know, I mean, that's the thing. When you do this kind of work, you have to remain extremely humble and you have to entertain the fact that you can indeed be wrong. I hope I'm wrong on this. But one of the things that I keep hearing is we're heading towards yet another election, is that I hear this as a campaign promise. This coming out as a campaign promise to lure people to vote. So I don't feel great about it. I do feel like it's going to happen. I'm not feeling great about this summer though. Okay. All right. So finally, Kevin McCarthy. Oh boy. Let's take a look at him. What a mess. You know, he gave that footage to Tucker Carlson, who's already, you know, having all of his own problems. You know, I mean, he was named in the lawsuit too with Dominion, 1.6 billion. And why McCarthy would hold on, because really, isn't that footage the American people's footage? Doesn't that belong to us? That's evidence. That's evidence. And to me, he withheld evidence. And when I saw this on the news, that he took it, gave it to Tucker Carlson to put on Fox News to show that, look, it's no big deal. It was just peaceful. And it's so funny because if you watch the video, it doesn't look peaceful. Yes, there's a few seconds here and there of people just walking, but then there's also all the other footage. So it doesn't make sense to me, but I just kept hearing impeachment. So let's take a look at what's going to happen with Kevin McCarthy. And then we'll do the 3-card pull at the end, okay? Oh, and by the way, everybody, I am going to have Marie on my channel this Thursday, the 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. I'm so excited to collaborate with her again. It'll be so nice. It'll feel so like things are getting back to normal again. So I'm excited. Interesting cards for him. Interesting cards. So here he is plodding along very slowly, doing his thing. Makes me wonder what's going on financially. Who's backing him? Where is this money coming from? Okay. His obstacle is he doesn't quite know what to do in this situation. Things are not going his way. Things are not going his way. But he does get some kind of financial backing. There is someone that is giving him money to try to keep him in power. But I'm going to take this card very literally. And meaning he acted childishly. This is the only card that only has children, right? This came up in the Iranian reading that I did. He acted childishly. And I do think he's going to pay for it. Let me pull one more card out for this. And if anyone's wondering, I am using the Radiant Rider-Waite. Even though, let's not forget Smith, right? She's the one that illustrated them. And it's slightly smaller than the regular size deck. Okay. So to me, this is a judicial card. And that's what I was picking up on. There is going to be consequences. There are going to be consequences, rather. Something is going to happen. So stay tuned with that. I think Kevin McCarthy is in hot water, whether he knows it yet or not. So using this gorgeous Curious Cats Tarot, just go with your gut. Don't overthink it. Which one do you feel drawn to? 1, 2, or 3? Here we go. Card number 1, the Magician. So this is a good time for you to really work the law of attraction. This is a time for you to manifest. Set your goals. What do you want? Make it clear to the universe, because the Magician's all about having a new beginning where you manifest your desires into reality. Card number 2, Wheel of Fortune. You're at the precipice of change. Things are about to change for you and in your life. You're ending one phase, you're starting the next, and you're coming into your karmic destiny and your karmic fate. And I find that oftentimes people feel kind of antsy when they get around this time, because like they can feel all these nice changes coming and like, you know, they just can't wait. So this is a nice time. Be prepared, because it's going to take a lot of your energy when you make these changes, but it's all going to be for the better. And then finally, the Strength card. Isn't that beautiful? And so this is a reminder from Spirit, from your guides, your angels, that you have more inner strength and inner courage than what you realize. That maybe life has been testing your patience recently, but you have what it takes to make it through it. All right, everyone, it was a pleasure making this video as always. I will see you on Thursday on my channel, 6 p.m. with Marie. Bye, everyone.